Why do we assume that all this infrastructure, entertainment, and open information that are appearing, that's floating everywhere, all the time, in every house on the planet, is it exactly what we're told it is?
If you don't read the newspaper, you're uninformed. If you read it, you're misinformed.
Recently, I was watching a movie called Mystery of Silver Lake. It's a modern movie with a really interesting vibe and, in a way, bizarre, rich in symbolism and subliminal messages. And while I was getting involved with all the mystery, with the characters and the weird scenes in the movie, I started to realize that behind all that fantasy, there was a hidden, deep, and extremely interesting message from the movie's director. The story begins by introducing Sam, the protagonist played by Andrew Garfield, a 33-year-old unemployed man with few ambitions and some perks, addicted and trapped in a dull life. Right at the beginning, the director makes a point of showing that Sam is broke financially. He even gets a notice that he'll be evicted if he doesn't pay the rent. He doesn't seem to care and continues his day as usual, completely apathetic and unmotivated.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, honey, how are you? I'm at work.
Yes, having a busy day.
In the midst of all this boredom, a new neighbor shows up who immediately catches his attention. Sarah had been the only thing to break his routine until then. He decides to pursue her, and he ends up not only meeting her, but the two of them spend a good part of that night together. Completely enchanted, he arranges to meet her the next day. But that moment never comes. When he wakes up, he finds out Sarah moved away without telling him, and she disappeared mysteriously. Even though he barely knows her, it's clear that Sam sees in Sarah the missing part he needs to find greater meaning in his life. This is where the film's main mystery starts, and that he alone will try to unravel. As Sam follows the clues, he realizes his friend's disappearance is connected to something much bigger than he initially imagined. The investigation leads him through a maze of theories, of conspiracies, secret codes, and societies. Amid bizarre encounters, strange parties, and unusual settings, Sam dives into this universe and discovers secret codes that no one notices. Hidden in pop music and video games, magazines, and basically in everything that is consumed daily. He starts to understand that the vast majority of people are just pawns in this world ruled by secret societies of the rich and powerful.
Maybe there are people out there who are more important than us, more powerful and richer than us, who are sharing and observing things in the world that only they do, not us. I think it's ridiculous to assume that the media has only one purpose, right? Yes. Oh, do you think that's strange?
He realizes most people have no idea they're being manipulated, and that even the death of a billionaire that was being reported in the media as a tragedy was faked to serve dark purposes. As he digs deeper, the pieces fit together and he realizes more, that the absurdities and mysteries he once only suspected are true.
Are you telling me there are hidden messages in old pop songs?
Songs, movies, television shows, everything you know.
I'll still explain what happens later in the story. But at first, the movie's message might seem like many of the theories from conspiracy that we ignore out there not only have a basis but are actually true. And because of that, we shouldn't ignore them. Our perception is being manipulated. Behind different activities, arts, and events, seemingly minor in daily life, there are subliminal messages revealing the world is much stranger and more complex than we could imagine. Although the director prefers to leave the message open, without giving too many explanations about it, it seems to me that the message isn't quite that. I say this because the movie is much more complex than it appears, with many symbols and messages that at first glance go unnoticed. Starting with the very names of the two protagonists, Sam and Sarah. Together they form the word samsara, which in Eastern philosophy means a directionless cycle, where the soul goes through endless cycles of life, death, and rebirth. A directionless journey marked by suffering, ignorance caused by attachment to illusions and desires. In this philosophy, the ultimate goal is to achieve liberation, or as they call it, nirvana, which is attained via spiritual awakening and enlightenment, thus breaking the cycle of samsara. Sam's search for Sarah is a metaphor for this quest for liberation, where the protagonist seeks something or someone, helps him transcend his mundane and monotonous existence. Sam feels he was meant for something greater. He's meant for something great in life. He believes this because he grew up used to feeling important. That's what his mother always told him. And it was also confirmed whenever he won in video games or solved mysteries in secret games. In adulthood, everything seems to lack meaning.
Have you ever felt like you ruined everything in the past? You're living the wrong life. A bad version of the life you were supposed to live. I thought I would be someone people cared about. Maybe do something important.
Damn, man. Everybody thinks that way.
The irony is he's great at finding hidden meanings in ordinary things, like children's games, songs, comics, and cereal boxes. He can't find meaning in his own life. The obsession with the idea that there is a theory of conspiracy in everything that crosses his path is what takes him out of monotony, what makes him feel unlike most people, and to regain that sense of importance from his childhood. Sounds like the director is mainly criticizing the new generations, who, contaminated by modern culture and by an overprotective upbringing from their parents, grow up with a very distorted sense of relevance and importance. In adulthood, reality soon shatters these beliefs. The world no longer meets your expectations, grandiose, leading many young people to disillusionment, driving many toward hatred, violence, radicalism, and addiction, which clearly reflects our movie's protagonist, a man who feels betrayed by society.
I don't care about what's trendy or cool. It's all crap and it's all meaningless. I created so many of the things you care about. The songs that give purpose and joy to your life. When you were 15, you used to rebel. You used to rebel against my music.
At the end of the movie, Sam finally unravels the whole mystery. He learns Sarah is trapped in an underground tomb, which was built to be a kind of luxurious paradise for the richest and most powerful, and that she'll never return to normal life. She's one of the 3 wives of that billionaire I mentioned earlier, previously reported dead in the media, but who actually faked his own death to secretly live underground, a typical habit of Silver Lake's billionaires.
This isn't a world where anyone with any sense would stay, or spends much time worrying about it. The things you worry about are useless where we're going.
Well, Sam finally got where he wanted. He uncovered the truth and found the answers he sought. So, is he satisfied now?
So, how are you?
Not very well.
He feels empty, frustrated, and disappointed. All that effort, and that's all he achieved, was a final conversation with Sarah over the phone where he begins to learn his lesson.
No way out now, so I should make the most of it.
Yes. Same for me.
Sam realizes that despite being above ground and theoretically free, he's also trapped. Not physically like Sarah, but by his own beliefs and illusions. He knows he must release these limitations and thoughts. Aside if he wants to find his true liberation, his state of nirvana, he appears to achieve this in the final scene, where for the first time he appears with an air of tranquility and confidence, like someone who has mastered his own life without worrying about what he can't control, and trying to enjoy life the way it is, away from distractions and complexities that he himself kept adding to his life.
A whole generation of men fixated on video games and secret codes. We crave mystery because it's gone.
Maybe the director is prompting us to reflect on our upbringing, surrounded by symbols and messages that shape our perceptions and beliefs, preventing us from seeing things clearly and forcing us down a set path, designed by a society that imposes a definition of success and happiness that's universal, standardizing our interests, thoughts, and behaviors.
You're living in a carnival, tossing little plastic rings onto big bottles. What are you going to win? 2 weeks of vacation? A new car? A little money to retire? It's all just a big, useless consolation prize.
It's clear that when everyone wants the same goods, positions, and status, most people will be unhappy and disillusioned. Some believe just opposing the system is the answer. Radicalism, conspiracies, believing that acting and thinking differently from the majority, they'll feel important again. But honestly, without realizing it, they remain trapped by the same expectations of others, becoming a mirror of the majority but with the opposite sign. The movie warns about this trap. We are so concerned with proving our theories and statements, we end up forgetting what matters most. And what would that be? What should we look for? We grow up believing that life has a line, a finish line, a final goal, some conclusion that justifies all the chaos we go through. And what if there isn't a conclusion? And what if what you've believed your whole life is a lie?
The secret doesn't impress anyone. The trick you use for that is everything.
People are amazed by the magic, by the mystery. But when they find out the trick, the magic goes away. You discover that behind the enchantment, nothing was special. Like Sam, who after devoting his entire energy in recent days to unraveling the mystery, finally realizes what he sought wasn't what would bring meaning to his life. Feeling empty, he realizes life may not be a mystery to solve, but a mystery to be lived.
The audience knows the truth. The world is simple, miserable, cruel from beginning to end. But if you could fool yourself, even for a second, then you can make them marvel.
That said, I don't want to finish this video, because my conclusion is that we don't have a conclusion. Things will stay the way they are, getting stranger, more uncertain, and harder to understand. But you don't want to hear that. Most people want something comforting, something that removes fear of the unknown, and for that they're willing to be deceived. They're willing to feed their hopes with illusion that one day they'll have all the answers, that everything will make sense. And that's how you become vulnerable. Letting yourself be controlled by those who create these illusions. Maybe that's the greatest trick of all, the precursor to all manipulation, making you believe that there's an answer and a conclusion to everything.